Now it's going to be a session on all other shortcuts that we find useful when it comes to financial modeling, but it was hard to classify into other groups. First, we have the find function. So find function, you're going to use Control F. Control F gets you to the find function. You might notice that some of you might not have a similar display. You just have to press on options and you're going to find something similar to what I'm looking at right now. Let's say we're trying to look for depreciation. So we want to search depreciation. And as soon as you hit find next or the enter key, you'll be able to find depreciation. And there are some options that you can select. So you can find within the same spreadsheet, or you have other options you can find from the entire workbook. So whichever situation you're encountering, you can choose between these two options. And the other options, I don't think you'll be using often. Just search by rows, look in formulas. Usually it's going to be in these settings. And next we have the replace function. So you can also press Control F and then press Alt P, or if you want to go straight to the replace function, the shortcut would be Control H, would lead you straight to the replace function. Let's say we want to replace depreciation with amortization. So you're using the tab key and the shift tab key to move up and down, the tab key, shift tab to move back up. And then when you want to replace it, when you want to replace just one, you're going to press Alt R simultaneously. If you want to replace everything that has the word depreciation in it to amortization, you want to press Alt A. So let's try Alt A. If you press Alt A, it immediately replaces all. Of course, there are just one, but usually if there's more than one, it replaces every word that has depreciation in it into amortization. And let's go down there and see if it has changed. Yep, because we did not capitalize amortizations A, we have amortization with no caps in the bottom. Control the Z to bring it back to depreciation. Our next function would be inserting notes. So how to insert notes in financial modeling? There are many scenarios where you have to insert notes, and the quickest way is to press Shift and then F2 simultaneously. And Shift F2 will lead you to a new note, and you can just type in whatever you need to type. Usually notes are about any errors or anything, any important assumptions, anything that you think that somebody else who's watching the financial model should be knowing. So Shift F2 would insert notes very quickly. Shift F2. Things like this, one-time expenses on, for example, raw materials. Line setup. Something like this. Next we have the freeze panes function. So this function is of course going to be used when you're doing financial modeling. Usually your model is very long, so this model is like 86 rows, but when you're doing financial modeling, some models can, go up to 2,000, 3,000 rows, and you will be always curious on the data sets on which years you're looking at. So you want to freeze these two rows so that you can see it even when you are working at rows down here. And it goes the same, the case is the same when you're going to the far right and you want to see what kind of data you're looking at. The shortcut would be Alt WFF, and you want your Excel cursor to be on the right bottom side of the panes you want to freeze. So if you want to freeze it like this, you want your Excel cursor here. Alt WFF, and now you have a linear line that's going to be freezed. And now you can see that if we move down, even if we move down, these 4 rows are completely freezed to the top. And if we have like quarterly or monthly data on the right, even if we move to the right, we have these 2 rows, these columns from A to G frozen, and rows 1 to 4 frozen, and it's going to make your financial modeling much more efficient. Next is superscript. Our superscript is used to make footnotes or make squares, like square footage or something like that. Let's say we pressed F2 to edit your financial model. Let's add a 1 at the end. And what we want to do is we want to just select the 1 by using your Shift key and the arrow key. And what we want to do is press Alt H and then FN. It's going to get you to a pop-up sign for format cells. And we want to check superscript. So press Alt E at the same time and superscript would be checked immediately, and pressing enter would do the job. Now we have revenue, and then the 1 is way up here. Sometimes sometimes formats are like this as well when you're inserting your footnotes. Anyways, you're using superscript to do that. Alt H FN and then and then Alt E for superscript. On the other hand, sometimes you need to use the subscript function as well. So let's do it for gross profit. The method is pretty much the same, Alt H FN, and you just want to check subscript. So Alt B for subscript and then enter would get you to your subscript. And our last function for the purpose of financial modeling shortcuts would be changing rows within cells. So if you want to change the rows and you want sources on the bottom of notes, what you want to do is you want to press the Alt key and then the Enter key together. Again, if you just press enter, it's gonna just exit your editing mode. So you want to press the Alt key and then the Enter key together, and that's going to change your rows that was originally displayed. So for the past 15 sessions, I believe I have introduced all the essential shortcuts and simple functions that you must know when it comes to financial modeling. In our next sessions on Excel 101, we will introduce you some basic formulas that you have to know in order to perform financial modeling. But for the shortcut sessions, this would be the end. Thank you for participating in these sessions, and let's now move on to financial modeling.